Hi everybody, it's Susie and welcome to my studio. This is part 2 of the vintage journal for A Cherry on Top. So let's get started. Okay, what we have here are both front and back of the book. We have the spine that was the very end of the video before, and we have that extra piece that we're going to adhere everything to. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that you've got your piece down here, and you're going to leave a little bit of a space between the front cover and the back cover and the spine, and I'm talking about this little piece right here. Alrighty, so we're going to glue down this piece first and use the fast grab tacky glue. Just make sure it's all on all of your edges so that nothing lifts up and it stays nice, especially if you plan on giving this as a gift to someone. Okay, so we're just going to put that in the center, hold it down for a few seconds. Okay, and then we're going to adhere these two pieces to this large piece of cardstock, leaving a very small gap, something like a little less than, I don't know, a quarter or an eighth of an inch. Okay. And we're going to glue up this page here. Okay. You can use your ATG gun if you want to. You don't have to not use it because I didn't. But again, for those of you who have experienced when using cardstock and making a special project, and once you adhere it down, if you want to move it, you can't. If it's not even, and being that we're playing with, okay, I want this part to be the front of my book, so I'm just going to adhere this down. See, and you can move it around until it's got the exact gap that you want it to there. Okay, and just making sure it's not upside down. Okay. And we're putting this one in. There may be a little bit of glue, so don't worry about that. Just rub it away. And even if it gets on anywhere else, just don't really worry about it. Okie dokie. Now we're going to take this top piece and we're going to fold it over. Doesn't that look cool? Okay, we're going to take the bottom piece here and we're going to fold it over and we're going to glue that down. Okay. This is definitely going to be nice and sturdy. By the time we're done with it, you're going to love it. I hope this one comes out just as good as the other ones did. Okay, put a little extra there. Okay, fold that up. Push this down. Okay, and here comes the fun part, because now we're going to have our bookbinding done, front and back, spine, all ready to go, and we're going to be able to start to embellish. And if you have a bone folder, this is what they look like. This one is a Martha Stewart bone folder. You can just really press this in a little bit, just to, but you see I just ripped it. But that's nothing because nobody's going to see it on the inside. But if you just want to like push down on here to just make sure that it's really on tight. Don't forget this is wet glue, so it's not dry for the moment. But it will dry pretty quick because this stuff is really quick in drying. And we're going to fold it. So now you see that you have this really handsome looking book type of cover. So you're going to kind of like hold the front here. Okay, you see it's nice and even. And what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of mold it a little bit with your fingers. Just gently, feel your way through the spine and the gap of the paper. Okay? Don't worry if it might be a little uneven. There's a little extra piece of, don't worry about it. It's going to come out good. Just keep pinching a little. Now I love this because it's this paper. I just love the feel of the paper. It's not super heavy and it's not very thin. It's really a nice feel to work with. Okay. And I also adore it because it's really vintage. It really is. It's distressed. It's the colors, the burgundy, the typewriting paper, the flowers. I mean, and if you look closer, there's some typing in there and some, you know, making it look like you've got ink on there, but I didn't do it, they did. So now you're going to keep, again, you know, playing with this, and what you're doing is you're kind of bending that spine in that spot, okay, which is, if you can see it now, it's kind of in there, so you're going to want to bring that together just very slightly and hold it down. And you're not gluing anything. It's already glued. We're just trying to form it a little bit. And if you'd like to use your bone folder, you can, because after a while with the layers of glue and paper, you know, you've got a very substantial piece of like bookboard here. Very pretty. Okay? So now what we're going to get, remember when we started off in the very beginning with our little inside piece, okay? I have prepared this in advance for the sake of the video, and this is going to be the contents of my book. And so in order to make these papers stick in here well, what we're going to need to do is take the very first piece and the very last piece, and we're going to need to adhere that to the book, and it's going to be like that. So I'm going to do that with you right now. Okay? And what we're going to do, because I'm going to need to do this at the same time, everybody will work their own way of doing it. But what I would like to do first, before I forget, is I'd like to add, this is a seam binding that I dyed myself with water and ink. Set it with the heat dryer, took no time at all. I'd like to put this down on here before I go ahead and add the book board, because I want to be able to tie this one closed. I think I like that much better than using the button closure, only because I have the button closure already, and this will be something different. So for this one, I am going to use an ATG gun. This is a Scotch ATG 714. You can get refills for this at cherryontop.com. Two of them come in here. It's great. I love it. So we're going to put a piece here. Oops, sorry. And a piece here. Now I'm eyeballing it. So, again, no one's perfect, so I'm not going to be. I try. Okay, we're just going to adhere the seam binding down. Okay, so that sticks pretty nicely. And we're going to get the other piece now. It's supposed to be wrinkled like that. I kind of like it that way. And we're going to adhere this piece down. Okay? Now, we'll just make sure that this is pushed in really good. Oops. Why do people have to send me text messages just when I'm crafting? And it's late too. Okay, now I'm going to put the glue on the front and back of this. Okay, here we go. Oh, I'm so excited. You know what? I think I'm just going to do one at a time maybe, right? Yeah, I'll do one at a time. Sure, it'll be fine. Okay. And we're going to use the glue here. Not going to try to use too much, because this, just unless you wind up using cardstock, this is laser printer paper. You know, the kind you put in your regular printer and you print out. I don't want it to get gummy and, you know, yucky looking on the other side. So now I'm going to hold this in the middle. And we are going to glue it down. Just want to make sure it's even. Okay. And then we're going to put some glue on this side. close the top of my glue here. Oops, sorry. And just hold up the middle of that. There's a lot of pages in here. I'm going to hold this down. And I'm doing it very softly. I'm not doing it too hard because you know how sometimes you can have like lumps showing through? I don't want to do that. So I'm just being very gentle here. See, it's already starting like that on this side. So I'll have to play with embellishing the inside with like tags or whatever. Okay. And then we'll close our book, and you'll see that you have the front and back nicely covered in there. You can write something here. I don't know why this is bulking up there. Oh, maybe because I didn't put glue on it. Let's see. Here's the one advantage, you guys, of being able to fix something using liquid glue. Let me do this really quick. Oops. Sorry to kind of screw up on you, but sometimes it's really good to see the screw ups so that you don't do it. Okay. Hold the middle, hold it down. Okay. I'm just gonna keep pushing it down lightly, not too hard. Okay. And there we have our journal that is made, that you can either use for writing, drawing, sketching. We have a tie here that we put on that we can tie closed. Very pretty. So now we're going to do, now's the fun part, alright? We're going to actually embellish this. Let me just see how many minutes we have so I know how, wow, 12 minutes? Okay, let's get rolling here. Now I made some flowers, and I have some buttons here. And I don't know if I'll be using this lace or not, but I'm just going to, I may be a little quiet, you guys, while I start doing this, okay? And that's only because, I don't know what happened there. This is how you know the video is really live, because I'm unsure of what I want to do here. What I'm going to do is, oops, sorry guys, I'm going to gather this lace together to embellish the front of this. Can you see what I'm doing here? This is lace that I had from my stash. You can get this in many stores online. This feels kind of tough to push through for some reason. Okay. Just going to tie it off the end so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. Now I have a tendency of laying out my work. I don't know how you guys do it, but that's how I roll. So I'm just going to see how that looks. I'm using these really pretty Prima These are like some type of a round, maybe round button that's material with crochet on it. Okay. I'm also going to be using some of my things that I have in my stash. So let's just see if we can play here. I'm using a hot glue gun to glue the flowers to the top of this journal. I also have some of these really pretty beads from my stash that I'd like to add on here as well. You don't have to, but it's kind of like a signature thing with me. I really love adding in pearls to my project. It just kind of also gives it this really sweet feel to anything. It kind of softens things up just a little, and I really enjoy using embellishments and beads on my projects. You can add whatever you like to the book. If you want to put some kinds of, on the inside of the book, if you would like to add some kind of tags and things like that. I'm sorry. Ow, that's hot. Oh my gosh. I just really burned my finger, you guys, really badly. Ow, okay. And they also ruined the lace that I just gathered. That's okay, I'll fix it. Because I'm rushing for time, this is what's happening. Okay, that's out. Let me see if I can get some stuff in here for my stash. I have one of these flowers from my stash. Let me see how that goes with that. That's not so bad. Even though it's white, I can certainly wait till this is all dry and just put some glimmer mist in there. I don't like it to be too overly done. Wow, this is really burnt. Okay. But I will add a gem in here. And I can't forget that we're going to be writing in here, so, you know, it's not like, we're not going to use this, because we will be, or someone else will be. These are just flowers that I had in my stash. Okay. And if you do get a lot of the little flying pieces, just get a dryer. The flying pieces of glue, just get a dryer and just go all around with a dryer. And that will take away all those glue pieces that are flying all over the place. And I'm not satisfied just yet. Okay. We're good right there. And the hot glue dries pretty quick. It even dried on my finger. And I was using some of these earlier, having some ideas for this. So I think I'm just going to quickly cut some of these out and paste them in so we can use them as tabs. I just want to see where we are. 20 minutes, part 3.